Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Thursday Thoughts. On Thursday Thoughts, I share my thoughts on business and business decisions. Okay. We had an excellent Bakerview seminar this morning with Stephen Pike from Caliber Control. And he pointed out an interesting trend that he's seeing in the industry. And this is from seeing and working with bakers and seeing them going down mixer size. Okay. So I am on LinkedIn right now. If you want to converse with me or share your thoughts on this particular topic, just go onto LinkedIn and I am monitoring the comments on there. Okay, so there's so many times that I have visited a bakery and seen so many issues because of the mixer. All right. Everything, all the product quality issues comes from the mixer first. All right. So I wanted to make sure that you know that. Okay. As an engineer, as a CEO of a plant, you are responsible for CapEx in this area. And you sometimes base your decisions on the efficiencies, on the limiting bottleneck factors in your system. Okay, most of the times the bottlenecks are right at the oven, but some of the times the bottlenecks are at the mixer. Okay, so this is what people usually do. They buy a bigger mixer. Okay, what's wrong with this? Well, these are 4 issues that I will point out that's going to cost you if you don't take into consideration the size of your mixer. Okay? If you buy a mixer that is too big, okay, thinking that, well, your trough is big enough, your line is fast enough, therefore you can definitely buy a bigger mixer. All right. But if that dough sits in the dough trough for more than 10 minutes, like maximum I would go is 15 minutes, right? If it stays in the dough trough for more than 10 minutes, you're going to have to use more yeast. You're going to need to use more dough improvers. You're going to have to deal with more molder holes, and you're going to have a negative effect on the entire product volume. Okay, so these are 4 factors, 4 important product factors that you need to consider when you upgrade to a bigger mixer. All right. Say you buy this mixer, you've already purchased this mixer, you already implemented you commercialized it on your line. Okay, all of a sudden things start to go wrong, right? And it's because your product is sitting in the dough trough for too long and you have the wrong kind of dough improvers to deal with that. If you are on a clean label system, and you're not using potassium bromate ADA or any kind of those dirty sounding datum or SSL names, then they can't deal with that. Clean label enzyme systems are more delicate and they can't deal with high dough temperature at such big volumes. So what happens? You are going to see a drastic difference between the beginning of the dough and the end of the dough. Okay, and the differences could lead to mottled skin, could lead to uncontrollable break and shred, could lead to your mixer operator having to stand there and change depositing settings. And then what? You got to hire another person just to deal with that particular bottleneck because they have to deal with it. Someone has to be changing those settings when you mix from beginning of dough to end of dough. So you are going to increase your mixer capacity so that you can employ one more person to deal with the inconsistencies with your dough depositor? I don't know if that's efficient or not. All right. Okay. So if you don't want to hire someone to deal with the dough depositor or measure it to contain the consistency, reduce your dough size. Make it 75% of your existing dough size so that you can process the entire dough batch within 10 minutes. So then you go back to the drawing board and you scratch your head again. Why in the world, if I'm not mixing full capacity, why am I mixing at 75% of my capacity? Why did I buy a bigger mixer in the first place? So I want you to consider this, to seriously consider this. With the ongoing trend of clean labels, and I have said this so many times, those of you who are following me probably sick and tired of hearing me say it, clean label is here to stay. It's not going to go away, right? So clean label means that your dough systems are more delicate. Your dough systems cannot handle high dough temperatures, okay? And your dough systems need to be processed within 10 minutes, ideally 5 minutes. Like, I want to see everything processed in 5 minutes, right? You're really pushing it when it's 10 minutes, but I know a lot of you out there can't go to 5 minutes. And if you can, kudos to you. You're doing it right. All right. So my thoughts on CapEx for this year is, if you are going to upgrade your mixer, because you are going to, a lot of you are going to. I can't see why not. Everybody going to clean label, organics, you're going to need more gluten. You're going to need more mixing. There's going to be more stress on your mixers. Your 20-year-old mixer, you have to change it out sooner or later. Okay? So my suggestion to you is, look at smaller mixers, smaller batch size mixers, and buy 2 of those instead of upgrading it to buy one gigantic, huge monster. Okay? Buy smaller batch mixers, process in smaller batches, go into 5 minutes of total process time at the dough trough. Okay? I can tell you right now, your QA people, your R&D people, your production people, they are going to thank you for that, because they are not going to deal with the problems of an oversized dough that is so hot that you have to control it with different dough conditioners. And on top of that, use more yeast. I mean, who doesn't want to sell you more yeast, right? I mean, no one's going to tell you to stop using yeast, but this is what you're going to do. So control your mixer size. Adjust it to a point. If you have a production planner, your production planner should be able to tell you what is the ultimate size, the optimum size for all your products. If you have 20 SKUs, if you have 50 SKUs, do your calculation. Okay, that's what production planners are for. Do the calculation and understand, what would it take to process the dough in 5 to 10 minutes. Okay, like I said, if you take longer than 10 minutes, you are only going to give it more yeast and more improvers. That's just the way to go. There's no going around this. Okay, so as you improve the efficiencies of your lines, as you reinvest capital into your lines, you need to understand, and your team needs to understand, the clean label trend, the organic trend, and what other trends there are in the future that's going to affect your buying right now. Okay, Sanjita says, I want to understand, is it the same case with ingredients? I don't understand really what that question is. If you could go into it a little bit more, Sanjita, and tell me, what is it about the ingredients. Okay, so today's tip is about understanding that CapEx is reliant on future trends. Okay, what is the future trend that's coming down the pipeline? And I'm telling you, what I'm seeing is clean label means no more potassium bromate, no more ADA, no more SSL, no more datum, no more of those band-aids that you have been trained to use. So what do you have to do? You have to rely on equipment and people. People and process are your two top priorities when you purchase your CapEx or budget for your CapEx. Okay, we are going to have our next quality seminar on wheat flour types, and it's really going to open up your eyes on this issue of mixing itself, because we're going to talk about the fundamentals of mixing. Okay, so if you haven't signed up to be part of our Baker Academy, now is the time to do it. You must be a member to attend the Baker View, and membership is free. You just need to sign up. Just go to the page. All right. All right. Thanks, Sanjita. I am asking about the dry mixes, the companies who are manufacturing bakery ingredients. Okay. So when you talk about dry mixing, when you talk about blending and mixing, batch sizes do matter. Okay. However, that is the aspect of what kind of mixer you buy. Okay. And the thing is just to mix it up properly. And that particular kind of mixing does not have much of an effect on the final product quality, because the final product quality is a homogeneous blend. Okay, it's not about getting any kind of biochemical reaction involved. Okay, so dry blending has no biochemical reaction involved, so it's easier. So it should be okay for you to upscale and buy a bigger blender. All right. I feel that in that kind of food processing situation, the issue is really environment and dust control. And if you can get a proper sanitation and get a proper food safety protocol in place, it should be handled easily. So I don't think it's a huge issue on dry blending at all. It's more, today I'm talking more about the blending of dough, the mixing of dough and dough ingredients. When you get something wet, and when it's chemically wet, it reacts differently. So I understand a lot of lean manufacturer experts and Six Sigma experts look at lines, look at bakery lines and go, well, we are not running lean enough. We are not running efficiently. These people need to go and watch my YouTube videos on fermentation, on dough systems, okay? And train themselves on understanding what goes on in a biochemical system, okay? While lean principles and Six Sigma principles are great on electronics and cars, it does not, there's not a linear equation to use those principles into food systems, and especially into fermented systems that are biologically active. All right. So how do you deal with biological active systems right now? Okay. We are not quite there with AI, but your people should be able to tell you, your good people, the people who are mixing and proofing, they should be able to tell you what the system can handle. So until we get the AI involved, you have to rely on the people and your culture to provide that feedback to your capital expenditure budgeting. Okay, don't rely on Six Sigma and Lean to tell you, because we are not there yet. We don't have that kind of data available for them to determine that. Okay, is it possible to get that? Yes, it's possible. Anything is possible. But if you implement Lean and Six Sigma onto your lines to determine what kind of equipment you should buy, that is totally a wrong way of looking at it. Okay, and if you need to talk to me about it, I can just spend 30 minutes and I can tell you what's on my mind. You just need to call a number on a website and I can tell you what's on my mind on calculation on numbers and using those numbers to determine CapEx budget. Okay, so that's all I want to say today, and I hope you take consideration of your product quality, your process, and most importantly, your people when you make those budget considerations. All right. Thank you for listening today to me and my thoughts on buying a mixer. If you have any more questions, please reach out to us at the BAKERpedia.com website. That's a Baker Help. And you can train your people for free by coming to our Baker View webinars. All right. Have a great day, Bakers. Bye.